Hello my lovely viewer, I am back once again with a European surreal black comedy dystopian film, titled The Lobster. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and please take care.
As a disclaimer, this video includes my own analysis, commentary, and it's not a substitute of the full movie. Click the link below to watch, buy or rent the movie.
In the beginning of the movie, it is raining, and lady is driving the car. Meanwhile, she stops the car, and gets out. She heads toward the field where donkeys are grazing. She has something in her hand. As she reaches near the donkeys, she shoots one of the donkeys. And comes back to her car. Why didn't she shoot other donkeys? Why did she kill only that donkey? Moving on, we see a man called David, who is sitting on a couch. He has recently ended his 12 years long marriage, and is now a loner. Shortly, an old man and a boy come there, and take him to the hotel. In the reception, a lady asks him a personal question. Then she briefs that he is going to stay at that hotel for 45 days. He is not allowed to use the volleyball or tennis court, as they are only for the couple. Besides this, he can enjoy the facilities for individual sports like golf and squash. He is going to stay in a single room. During his stay, if he finds a partner who is like him, then he is going to be shifted to the couple room. David is there with a dog, Bob, who used to be his brother, but is now transformed into a dog. Dog is not allowed outside the room. So, he keeps inside the room all the time. The thing is, in this movie, loners are given chance to find a partner within 45 days. If they become unable to find a partner within the timeline, then they are transformed into the animal they desired to be. Besides this, they are taken for hunting, where they shoot each other by using a tranquilizer. The unconscious loners are taken back to the hotel, and are transformed into animals. And the loner who becomes able to shoot other loners, and make them unconscious is awarded more days in the hotel to find the partners. This means if the loner shoots one loner, then he is awarded one more day in the hotel room. So, guys, don't be a loner, find the love of your life. Just kidding. David gives all the personal belongings to the hotel staff, and they provide him the everything he wants. His room number is 101. He is inside his room. There is a tranquilizer gun hanging on the wall, and on the table, there are 20 tranquilizer darts, which will be used for hunting. He then walks to the wardrobe. He finds 4 identical gray trousers, 4 identical bottoms-down shirts, in blue and white, belts, and socks. Then he looks through the windows, where he sees the unconscious bodies of the captured loner, on the ground, and the loner who haunts them is standing there. The hotel manager is awarding them more days according to their hunt counts. The next morning, a hotel manager comes to his room, and tells him to choose a compatible partner, and also warns him to choose the partner wisely. The manager asks him about the animal, which he wants to be, in case he couldn't find a partner in 45 days. He tells her that he wants to be a lobster. As the lobster lives over 100 years, are blue-blooded like aristocrats and stay fertile all their lives. She then congratulates him for choosing an excellent choice. She then orders hotel staff to cuff one hand and ties it on the back side of his pant. They leave from there. The next morning, over breakfast, he sees a young woman sitting at the next table, head tilted back. Her nose is bleeding, and she often gets nosebleed. She is there with her best friend, who is sitting beside her. Our next character is Butter Biscuit, as has no name in this movie, I am going to call her Biscuit Woman. David makes new loner friends Robert and John. Shortly, in the auditorium, John introduces him, and tells his past story. He tells them that he is a limping man. He was bitten by Dong. He further adds that his father chooses another woman over his mother. Like him, her mother had entered the hotel, but unfortunately, she cannot find her partner, and was turned into a wolf. He added that he is not going to die like his mother, and believes that he will soon find his partner. For the loner's entertainment, there are singing and dancing programs. David walks to the nosebleed woman, and asks her to dance with him. She dances with him. During their dance, her nose bleeds, and gets blood on his shirt. He doesn't care at all. He wants to enjoy the moments. Robert dances with Heartless Woman, the same woman who killed the donkey in the beginning. Suddenly the alarms ring, and after that, they are taken on a hunt. All the loners are inside the bus, with the tranquilizer gun in their hands. In the meantime, John says, I wish I didn't have this limp. I used to be very good at running but not anymore. But David replies and says, if I were you, I would think of some tricks that use the elements of surprise instead of speed. They reach the wood. All of them start to run to hunt. Everyone began hunting. After the hunting, in the hotel, Robert hunts one loner, so he is awarded one more day, while David didn't hunt any loners. So, his days remain the same. The next morning, the hotel manager demonstrates what happens when a man eats alone versus when a man eats with his wife. The old man choked while eating alone, but when he eats with the love of his life, she saved him. And also a single woman being abused, if they don't have a partner in her life. The manager simply is trying to make them understand the importance of a partner in each life. Shortly, in David's room, the maid sits on his lap and moves her, stimulating David. But David is unhappy because she always leaves him in the half. Over breakfast, Robert is caught masturbating in his room. So, the hotel staff toasts his finger. Loner is not allowed to masturbate until they find a partner. One night, the hotel takes them on the hunt. Biscuit women sit near him, though he is trying to avoid talking to her. But she asks about Bob and gives him the biscuits for Bob. She then asks whether she can come to something in his room for a chat, where she would give him a blowjob, or he can just have sex with her. She further tells him that she needs to find a loner tonight, otherwise, she will jump from the top of the hotel room, rather than become an animal. Some days later, during shooting practices, Robert wants 3 of them to be parrots, as they can hang out together, if they don't become able to find a partner. But John doesn't want to become any animal, or bird. He will do anything to find a partner. Meanwhile, in the pool, a nosebleed woman and John are swimming. David is also there. He is sitting there and watching them. John hits his nose purposely, to talk with her and make a connection. When the woman sees that his nose bleeding, his plans work. That night, John comes to David's room. When David says, "I saw, what you did must have hurt." But John again hits his head hard. John tells him that he will fake his nose bleed for survival, rather than to transform into an animal, and get killed by stronger animals. David agrees with him. They hug each other. Soon, the announcement is made, and the hotel accepts John and the nosebleed woman as a couple. They are transferred into a couple of rooms. David tries to make a connection with the pretty hair lady, who has only one day left, but she doesn't seem interested in him. Later, she is called into the manger room. Her best friend's nosebleeds woman gives the letter she has written for her. The pretty hair lady slaps her, and asks the manager that she would like to watch some movies as her last activity as a human, rather than to have sex. David from the window sees that the pretty lady has been transformed into a donkey, and her best friend is saying a final goodbye to her. While practicing golf, David plans to make away like John, and fake everything. Suddenly he hears screams. He rushes to find out. A biscuit woman jumped from the top of her hotel and killed herself. A heartless woman is watching all the incidents, but she doesn't care. She drinks her coffee. David walks to her, and tells her that the biscuit woman dies quickly. He then leaves there, and goes to his room. Meanwhile, David goes to jacuzzi where a heartless woman acts like a dead, but David doesn't care at all. She believes that they are alike, and the hotel announced them as a couple, and shifted them to a couple's room, to spend 15 days, before they are sent on a yacht trip. The first night as a couple, the heartless woman does exactly like the hotel maid. That day they do not have any physical intercourse. The next day, David and the heartless woman are walking on the beach. John asks his daughter to say hi to him, but he kicks her in her leg, so that she can have limps like her dad. And also impress Heartless as if he doesn't care at all. Hotel management provides a daughter to John, to smooth the couple's relations. After a couple of hangouts, they start to form a bond with each other. This time they have a physical relationship. Their relationship is just cold, heartless, and has no love at all. Just a pleasure. One morning, a heartless woman informs David that she killed his dog. David wakes up like he doesn't care at all. He enters the bathroom, and sees his dog covered with blood. Looking at the dead dog, he cries because this dog was no ordinary dog, it was his brother after all. A heartless woman finds out his lies. She slaps him, and tells him that she killed the dog on purpose, as she has suspicion of him. She then tells him that relations cannot be built over the lie, and decides to tell the hotel management, so that they would transform him into an animal that nobody wants to be. She grabs him on the back and takes him to the management. But in the hallway, he kicks her and runs away. She intensely searches for him, but David is hidden by the hotel maid. He comes out with the tranquilizer gun, and hits her. With the help of the maid, they take the heartless woman to the transformation room. Before going inside, the maid asks him to shoot her, so the hotel manager won't suspect her. David does so, and takes a heartless woman inside for transformation. He now no longer can stay at the hotel. So, he escapes from the hotel, and runs into the wood. He spends a night under a big tree. In the morning, he is found by a group of loners, who are fighting against the couple. The loner group leader welcomes him, hugs him, but also warns him at the same time. Where loner is not allowed to have any relationship, even flirting is not allowed between the group member. A loner who breaks the rule will be punished according to his deeds. Loner is allowed to listen to only electronic music, and dance themselves. When a man with a bondage mouth gives him the instrument, he asks another loner about it, and learns about the punishment of flirting. They had cut his lips with a razor, and made them kiss. This punishment is called a red kiss. He also learns about another punishment called red intercourse. Oh my God, I can't imagine this punishment. Like the regular practices, loners practices running and hiding from hunters. All of the members had dug their graves, in case of something bad. David is a new member of the group, so he had not dug a grave yet. In the course of practice, one loner steps into the trap, and the group leader asks him to set himself free, and leave him. David is noticed by the female loner, who is short-sighted like him. She is attracted by his personality. The next day, the hotel bus comes there to hunt. David is found by Robert, and wants to capture him, as he only has 2 days left. When Robert is about to shoot David, from behind, the short-sighted woman stabs him on the leg. As he falls, David takes out his tranquilizer gun, and knocks him out. A short-sighted woman asks him, not to tell anyone that, she helped him and can thank her, by bringing her rabbits to eat. David agrees with her. He then removes his dress, which he will use during the city visits. Shortly, the loner leader meets with the hotel maid, she hands guns, and keys to the double room to the loner leader. The hotel maid is the mole, who passes all the information about the hotel to them. She then tells the loner leader to attack hotel on the Saturday, as all of them will be tired of dancing. Before leaving there, she also tells her that, she says that this was her last mission. She cannot withstand her dentist husband anymore. The leader tells that, once the mission is completed, she can join them, and she will find another mole later. David brings rabbits to the short-sighted woman, as he promised. The next day, David, a short-sighted woman, leader, and lone man dresses up, and heads towards the city pretending as a couple. They go to the store, buy some supplies, and enjoy some food. Not long, David is nearly caught by the police, but thankfully, a short-sighted shows up, kisses him, and convinces the cop as if they are a couple without showing the marriage certificate. As they leave the mall, David finds that she is also short-sighted like him. Afterward, leader takes them to her parents' house. They pretend to be a co-worker, working in a promising company. To keep the leader back, David tells the leader's parent that he loves the short-sighted very much, and sometimes regrets leaving her back at the house, and kisses her. Their acting as a couple is so real. Later, while leaving the city, the leader congratulates him for saving her ass. In the wood, David and the short-sighted woman starts to spend more time together. She even rubs balm on his back. That night, loner is set ready to attack the couples. Before entering the hotel, each loner is assigned a particular room, where David chooses the yacht. He shoots the guards there, and paddles the boat to the yacht. He enters the yacht, and tells the nose-bleeding woman that John is lying about nosebleed, and are not suited for each other. But she doesn't believe him, instead slaps him. He insists her to believes him. He only leaves when the daughter asks her mom to stab him and John throws him out. In the meantime, the leader and the loner break into the hotel manager's room. They wake up her and tie her in the chair, while the leader points the gun at her husband. The leader then hands him a gun, and asks him to shoot her. He pulls the triggers, but guesses what? There is no bullet at all. They were doing this to ruin the relationship between them. That night they celebrate by dancing and listening to the songs. The hotel maid has also joined them. As time passes, David and the short-sighted start to see each other, spend time alone, kiss each other, and even make out. They break all the rules and regulations. They are in love. To avoid being caught, they completely develop the sign language to communicate with each other in front of others. The four of them are again back at the leader's house. The parent plays guitar, and the group enjoys the music. This is the moment for David and the short-sighted. They kiss so intensely that the leader has to separate them. She also apologized for their actions with her parents. They are back in the woods. They have decided to leave the wood and stay together in the city. They plan to escape during the hotel hunt and disappear from there, so that everyone will think that they have been captured. However, the leader finds out about the plan, when someone brings her the diary of a short-sighted woman diary, and decides to handle them on her own. Meanwhile, she takes David to the spot to dig the grave for him. When he finished digging the grave, he lies down to test it. She asks him to cover the body and face with the soil. Afterward, leader and another loner take the short-sighted woman to the hospital, for eyes correction surgery. The short-sighted woman is unsure about the surgery. But ultimately, she agrees to surgery. As asked by the leader, the doctor blinds her. Now David and the short-sighted are very opposite to each other, and they cannot become a couple. Meanwhile, in the wood, the short-sighted woman finds out about her blindness. She threatened them by showing the knife. The leader pushes another loner there. A short-sighted woman stabs her, and kills her. The leader acts like she is stabbed, and makes a noise like dying. When a short-sighted woman confirms the death, by touching the body, she throws the knife. Shortly leader wakes up, and asks her to calm her down. Otherwise, she will leave there to die. Meanwhile, as per plan, the short-sighted woman meets David on the spot. At first, she pretends like she can see, but soon tells him how the leader makes her blind. They start to play the game, where David gives her a different item, and she has to touch and guess the thing. David let her win, though she guesses wrong. When David asks for a kiss, she rejects it and says that they no longer are alike. He then leaves there. They don't talk for days. Then he goes to a short-sighted woman, and tells her about the plan by sign language. She is astounded listening to him, and asks him if he is sure. David tells her that he is sure. In the morning, David quietly attacks the leader from the back, knocks her down, puts clothes in her mouth, ties her hand, and leaves her in his grave. They dress nicely and head towards the city. On the way, they hide from the hotel bus packed with the hunters, and finally make it to the city. They are at the restaurant, and ask her to show him different parts of the body, before he asks the waiter for a fork and knife to blind himself. He then goes to the bathroom, and tries to blind himself. The movie ends in suspense. My question for you guys is, will David blind himself and leaves as a couple with a short-sighted woman, or will he leave her and runs away from there, to find a partner who is alike him? Please let me know your thought by commenting below. Until then, subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.